Well, hi everyone. I am joining you today from my clinical office because I wanted to share with you a little about sand tray therapy. Sand tray therapy actually has very deep Jungian roots and is also employed from an intensely humanistic theoretical foundation as well. So you'll find different kinds of sand tray therapists, but it's also incredibly relevant for narrative therapy. And I couldn't resist the opportunity today to share with you a little bit about why I think that is. So in sand tray therapy, we actually have a tray with sand. This is not ordinary playground sand. In fact, it's very fine sand that's very clean, and it's got a unique orange color. It's called Jurassic sand, and I order it from a mine in Utah, and clients do dearly love it. A sand tray is generally a regulation size. This one is a specific size for Jungian type of work. And the reason for the dimensions are so that your client can see from one end of the other of the tray without having to move the head, right? They can see their entire world. What we normally do in sand tray therapy is we create worlds, or the client does. The shelves behind the tray, and I'm just going to move this camera a little bit, contain hundreds of miniatures. The miniatures are organized into categories. So there's a category of religious objects, there's a category of different types of ethnic objects, food, animals, that kind of thing. You can't see the entire collection from here, but you get the idea. So in sand tray therapy, at its most basic, I might say to someone, show me your world. And I wouldn't say another thing. They would go and choose these miniatures to create a symbolic world, allowing the unconscious to bring forth aspects of that world that may not be known. They may not be completely manifest, right? But with narrative, I can use this particular type of work to help a client externalize the problem. For example, if a client is talking to me about shame, very deep shame, and I would like to externalize the shame and help the client manage it a little bit better, I might say, I wonder what it would be like if shame lived in this tray. If we could put shame in this tray and spend a little time getting to know it. And I process that with the client for a little while. And then I would invite the client, I wonder if there's anything here on these shelves that interests you. If you could choose one to represent your shame, I wonder what it might be. And I won't say another thing after that. And I'll invite the client to come to the shelves. And if we're building worlds, they may pick dozens and dozens and dozens of objects. But for just this example of externalizing the problem, let's say the client picks an object. I'm just going to grab an object. The client picks this little jellyfish, right? We'll process. Okay, let's talk about that. What is that you have in your hand? I'm not going to assume it's a jellyfish. I'm going to let the client tell me what this object represents because they may be using it for something that I don't know. We'll process what it's like, right? What do jellyfish do? How do you know about jellyfish? And then I might invite the client to place that shame. I never touch a client's tray, just to let you know. This is just for demonstration. You never put your hands in a client's tray. We'll just have the client place that shame right there. And we might create a narrative for shame. I wonder what it is that shame wants to say to you today. And we would continue in that vein. I might even encourage the client to say some things back to shame, and we might get a little gestalt-y with the whole thing. Or maybe we just give shame a narrative. I wonder how shame got where shame is today. And we might even create a little fairy tale. right? So again, I walked in my office today. I had absolutely no intention of putting this video together to talk about Santre therapy and was inspired by our conversation that we're having this week around narrative therapy to share a little bit with you about a tool that's more Jungian based, right? But can offer so many benefits for someone who's coming from a narrative perspective. I hope this was interesting for you. And if you've watched to the bitter end, you're a good person. And I'd love to hear more from you. Tell me what you think.